multi-purpose brand is designed with you in mind, catering to all your needs. The soap bar and liquid detergent was created and added to S. Kumar's line of products. This addition guarantees to be mild on the skin, allowing the bar soap to be used as a beauty bar and ideal for hand washing. The liquid soap with added softener leaves your clothes with a bright clean, while grease. The liquid soap is ideal for your appliances, ensuring great performance. For luxurious laundry detergent, choose a partner.
We plan for every major life event, from birthday parties to baptisms, and celebrating a life well lived deserves the same thoughtful planning. Beacon's Rest Easy plan is designed to give your loved ones the comfort of knowing that they can do just that. With no underwriting and cover for up to 6 family members that includes certain injuries, this plan can be yours for as little as 75 cents per day. Call us at Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Yes, indeed, Power 95. And without further ado, gotta say a special good morning right now. Going out to Mrs. Yvette Noel-Shure. How are you doing?
I am well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Awesome.
Clean too.
I am well. Good morning to you and everybody at the station and everybody in Grenada, Carriacou, and PC Martinique.
Now, I've never met you in person. I mean, you've been inside of Power 95, and I've never been able to cross your path. But I tell you, it's a pleasure to be speaking with you this morning. Someone of your sure. All right. How are you doing, though? I mean, we're inside a year 2 of this pandemic. How are things for you? How are you making out?
I'm sad. I'm sad with what's happening in Grenada for sure. Physically, I'm good. I have tried my best to take very good care of myself. I'm still keeping up with my tennis about 3 times a week. And
wait, hold on. 3 times a week?
3 times a week, drinking my sea moss, doing all of that, ginger every day. I mean, the pandemic affected me in so many ways, my business, my clients, my family. We've lost a few family members. I think we actually lost people before we knew what it was.
That is true,
Yeah, and as we're looking back at the number of funerals that Grenadians attended in the fall of 2019 into the early winter of 2020, there were churches in Brooklyn that were packed. We were going from one funeral to the other, sometimes 3 in a few hours. And looking back now and understanding what those symptoms were.
Oh, before all of the media and so on got involved and then made everybody aware. Because even in Grenada, you had some people that said that back in 2019, they were hit with a cold like never before.
Exactly.
And then afterwards we found out, what it was.
I always wondered what 19 meant, and obviously the science could tell you that 19 probably means this is the 19th time they saw that kind of virus and whatever. But I always said 2019. It was here in 2019.
Yeah, 2019, Recently, tell me about your VMA experience. We're going to go on the little lighter side right now. You are the VMAs. I watched the VMAs firsthand, and it had some incredible performances. Tell me, how was it for you?
Can you see how much I'm smiling?
Right.
First of all, it was other than BT, it was probably one of the first red carpets that I did and felt safe, really, really safe.
What made it safe for you? Let me ask that, because obviously there were a lot of people there. What made you feel safe?
Well, again, I'll go back to BET because it's the same company. MTV and BET are under the Viacom umbrella. And it really showed that Viacom was not playing. They put every measure in place to reassure our safety. And we put extra measure in place for Chloe Bailey, all her rehearsals, COVID test every day. I probably had 6 COVID tests in a week in order to be there.
Those tests were
and you know, I've had some bad COVID tests where I was like, oh Lord, this nostril will not survive. But you know what? I've given birth 3 times. I've given birth 3 times naturally. I could have a COVID test to keep myself safe and to keep my neighbors safe.
Right.
But getting there, having to show your vaccination card, that's great. That's awesome. But you also had to show a PCR negative test result within 24 hours, 48 hours. Yeah.
So everyone who attended had to follow those protocols. There wasn't any exception.
No exception. It doesn't matter who you were. It doesn't matter who you were with, what role you played, from audience member to superstar on the stage. Everybody in your camp, your hair people, your publicist, your manager, your family, everybody had to abide by those rules, security, everything. And I felt amazing. And I felt like when I was on the carpet doing my work with my client, that they were protected, because obviously when they're doing interviews, they have to remove their mask. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that they were far enough from the journalists and things like that. And then we were right there with their mask and their shields, you know, put it back on quick, you know.
Right.
But the VMAs were incredible. They were incredible. It gave me a chance to see this firecracker of a superstar unfold in Chloe Bailey, and to see some of the incredible performances by our next superstars. I mean, the young people who performed on that show, the top of the top. I mean, Lil Nas X murdered that stage. It was nice to see that, and it was nice to.
You missed it.
Feel safe. I missed that. I'm a hugger and I'm a smiler, and I kept my mask on the whole time, except for when I was in the hallway and I was away from people taking a photo.
Right.
But for the most part, I kept my mask on, so a lot of people didn't get to see me grin the whole time like I usually do. You know, I have to set the example, and I have to stay safe, and I have to keep those around me safe. But it was a memorable, pleasurable night. It was incredible to see everybody following it. It was great that it was in Brooklyn at Barclays, you know, and you know,
normally these award shows in LA.
Some Caribbean restaurants while I was in Brooklyn, so it was
right. Yeah. Now, tell me something about Chloe. There was a lot of talk after her performance, right? She lit up the stage big time.
Yeah.
And I've even seen some media outlets saying she's like the next Beyonce, right? What would you say about that?
Chloe Bailey's the next Chloe Bailey.
Right.
She's the next Chloe Bailey. She is going to, she's a hard worker. I could understand why people are saying certain things.
You know, they're quick to make comparisons. You know, anytime somebody comes out and the media is quick to say, okay, this is the next this, or is if this person is better than that person, and that kind of thing.
But I think they need to be
their own.
They need to give her the lane for her to create on her own. They need to give her bricks so she could build her own building. You know, Beyonce saw something incredible in Chloe and Halle, and we're going to start seeing that, and we're going to see Halle in 2023 in Mermaid. But I you know, listen, I think I'm pretty sure Chloe's not offended by any comparisons, but she understands that Beyonce is an icon, and it takes years to get to that status. Chloe is here. She's starting out her career, her solo career. She is going to burn down many, many, many stages. But I want people to say Chloe Bailey is the next Chloe Bailey. Because you know what? This Beyonce ain't going anywhere. So I don't know what they're talking about. Because
She retired.
This Beyonce is here to stay. So what they talking about?
Hey, boy, listen to me. Like, I saw something on Instagram where they were asking if Drake, right, in his prime now in 2021 is bigger than Michael Jackson when Michael was in his prime. And I'm like, why are they making these comparisons? It's so unnecessary.
Yeah, they don't need to do that. They need to give everybody the thing about our world, and I'm not talking about the entertainment business, but the world, is that there is infinite space, and there is space for all of us, and there's space for overlapping, and there's space for even the icons that are gone to still have a space in our hearts. So they need to stop doing that. But you did bring up my boyfriend in my head, Drake.
Wait. Oh boy.
Let me tell you a quick Drake story, right? So I really love Drake. I love Drake. Love Drake.
I can tell.
But I loved him as like a teen. He was on television before that. He was like an actor,
Yeah.
and I thought he was the cutest kid.
Mhm.
And then when I found out that there was more to this kid, and that he's got this talent, and that he was going to be doing all this thing, I started kind of digging into him. Then I found out his name is Aubrey. And my mom,
Mhm.
God bless her, in her resting place,
Yeah.
her first child, before I even entered the world,
Uh-huh.
my oldest brother, who passed away as a baby, his name was Aubrey. So in my head, I'm like, I have to meet Drake, because I never got to meet my brother. I have to meet Drake, because I mean, why else would he have my little brother's name? What else, right? So okay. So now I'm this publicist. I'm going around. I'm doing things with my artists.
Yeah.
Drake comes backstage at a Beyonce concert. So one of our executives is really good friends with Drake. I'm like, I have to meet Drake. Now, I'm a professional person. I'm supposed to be.
You sound so starstruck.
I was so starstruck. I was like, I have to meet Drake. She's like, you don't even act that way. What are you doing? I said, I've got to meet Drake. She pulls Drake over to meet me. I am standing there. It's me and my colleague named Melissa, Drake and manager, just the four of us in a little bit of a huddle.
Right.
She's introducing me to Drake. My hand gets limp. I'm like, hi.
I don't believe you, man. That's crazy.
I don't even say a word. My tongue is tied. I can't say a word. And then I think I hear Drake said, "Did you say she's Beyonce's spokeswoman?" Like under his breath. And then she looks at me like, "Say hello." I was like, "Oh, hi." I was so embarrassed because I literally acted like as though I was a 14-year-old awestruck girl. It was terrible.
Right.
It was terrible.
Wow. I tell you, that is something else. Now, as we sit down here and we look overseas, like in the States and so on, we could see that, well, you're having events, not events, my goodness, I'll get to events, but you're having the award shows. Remember last year, in the middle of the pandemic, it was virtual for the most part. Yeah. This year, they had it, in person. So you had the VMAs, you just had the Emmys and so on. What do you think has allowed that to happen, where we are seeing people at sporting events now? You're seeing, well, a lot of soca artists are no longer in Grenada now. They're practically in the States playing their craft and so on. What do you think has allowed that to open back despite everything pandemic related?
I don't know for sure about the status of the Caribbean artists, but I know in America, most of the events are vaccine only events. There are some exceptions where you would have to just be tested within 24 to 48 hours. So I think it's the difference is vaccines. Broadway's open, but you can't go to Broadway without being a fully vaccinated person. Mm-hmm. And I think the way to our getting back to some semblance of what the life we used to know, or whatever it is about the life we will now create, because I don't think we could ever go back to where we were, is vaccination. Mm-hmm. And that is what has been making a difference in terms of gathering. And even before we go into the theater or to the huge concert halls, we have to start thinking about how we're going to dine and entertain at home. How many people do you want in your home, and how many people that you can ask, are you vaccinated? I know for me, my house is a vaccinated house.
Right.
So the people who come to this house are vaccinated. And
I've seen some people say that publicly. They don't want anybody, like Thanksgiving coming up in the States. I've seen some stars come out and say, listen, I don't want you in my house unless you're vaccinated.
I'm sorry. I've lived for 59 years, and I'm hoping God would give me probably 30 more. And I kind of want to be here. So if
Right.
you are going to be the reason that takes me down, I kind of want to stay away from you for a second.
Right.
So yeah, I've decided that I will love a lot of people from afar.
Yeah. I totally get it. Now tell me something. We're bringing it back home to Grenada right now. Well, you see, I suppose I don't know how aware are you of the COVID situation here. It's really gotten in a bad state compared to how it was just a few months ago. Like
I'm
literally.
aware of every single thing that happens in Grenada. My body only exists in America, but my mind, my heart, my soul is always in Grenada. I get the dashboard every single day. Like
you get the dashboard too. Okay.
Absolutely. Like everybody else. Actually, last night, through Dr. Monica, I was able to be a part of a program that's going to come to Grenada. I don't want to give it away, but I was in the company of some incredible, intelligent, brilliant doctors and some amazing influencers that are turning all eyes on Grenada. I'm in touch with my family. I'm in touch with my sister, particularly every single day.
Yeah.
She is somebody that I trust, implicitly. She's involved in the education sector, TAMCC, and together with her and Kareed Clement and Barry Collymore, I stay in touch with everybody. I literally text the health minister and just be like, keep up the good work. And if there's anything I can do, I've got tons and tons of people in Grenada that I love. I've taken it upon myself to start making calls to people I know and asking them if they have any sort of hesitancy towards taking the vaccine, and if I can help give them some information. I'm certainly not a medical person. I'm someone that reads everything and talk to people in a lot of different sectors. People think of me as just in the music business. I am beyond the music business, and Grenada means the world to me. So even members of my family, I'm just trying to make sure they get past the hesitancy and know that the jab in their arm is not just for them, but it's for the people they love. It's for the community. It's for Grenada, our Tri-Island state as a whole. More importantly, I just think that people have to think of celebrating our elders. When you get to be a certain age, you should age beautifully and you should age well. Getting older doesn't mean that you have to be the person that's going to catch the first thing that's coming along, especially if we could prevent it. If you live in the house with an older person, see them as a black diamond, like really protect them, build a wall of protection around them. If you need to isolate grandma or great grandma and grandpa in a room, whether they have COVID or not, isolate them from you if you're going out at any time. I don't know, like figure out a way for them to use the bathroom when you are out of the house. Give them that time, spray everything, and wear your mask even in the house if you're going to be around them. But I think if you don't want to do it for yourself, think about grandma. Think about how long she's worked, how many cocoa she has cut, how many nutmegs she has peeled, how many bananas she has cut, so you could come through. You could have the life. Give her the chance to live, to go to the beach again, to sit on her porch, on her veranda and talk to her neighbor. We have to think about it that way, certainly if not for ourselves. So yeah, you'll get a little jab and you'll get a little stick here and maybe you'll feel a little soreness, a little stiffness. But that is a minor sacrifice to make for the country, for the 3 islands to survive. I just want to say that I was home from April 24th to June 5th, spent 6 weeks in Grenada. And what I saw in Grenada was exemplary. It was incredible. People were wearing their masks. Everywhere I went, my temperature had to be taken. I had to sign in a book with my phone number and where I live and all of that. And I just thought Grenada was second only to New Zealand in terms of their fight, their efforts, and mitigating this. Something happened. We can't really point fingers now. What we have to do is try to get people to get the vaccine, because this is not some propaganda. 97% of the people who are dying in Grenada of COVID-related illness are unvaccinated. And it's the statistics across the world. The people who are dying right now are mostly unvaccinated. I need Grenadians to be gamblers right now. I need Grenadians to gamble to live, gamble to save our communities, gamble to save our island. That is my message as somebody who is so afraid of injections, Oh my gosh, so afraid. Even throughout my pregnancies, my husband had to come to all of the appointments when I was getting blood drawn or something. I'm always asking them for the butterfly needle, really afraid. And I could not wait to give them my arm so I can get my vaccine. And I would not travel. Until I was fully vaccinated. Did not come to Grenada until I was fully vaccinated. Got to Grenada a week before they changed the length of the quarantine. Did not ask for any special favors. Took my sentence of 7 days looking at grandaunt and not able to go on grandaunt. And it was fine. It was fine. We're going to get out of this, but we have to get the numbers up on the persons that are vaccinated on the island.
That is true, because you have some people that believe that, they rather face the virus than face the vaccine, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, you see the statistics, you see the numbers, as you just mentioned, in terms of people that are dying that are unvaccinated versus vaccinated, but I'm glad that you brought that up. Now, just to wrap up, but get on the creative side of things here, with regards to artists, and I'm talking about artists locally now. I mean, we know your resume, right? What words would you have for them to, in this time, especially with what's happening now in Grenada, to stay relevant and kind of still maintain a creative space?
Adversity breeds incredible creativity. And this is the time, especially with the No Movement weekends, where artists need to really tap into their creativity. Write songs, record them. The truth is, we talked about this earlier, for you to enter certain countries, you're going to need to be vaccinated. For you to continue making your livelihood, you're probably going to need to have some sort of proof that you've been vaccinated. In the meantime, in between vaccination, in between PCR tests, sit down and really tap into your creativity. I think we're at a heightened, or we should be at a heightened time in our lives of spirituality, deep spirituality. So if you're a soca star or you're a reggae star, what you are channeling right now may not even sound like the sound you usually making. You might end up writing the greatest gospel song right now because you're tapping into something very different. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. And if the songs don't come, just write in your journal, because from those notes, when you go back to them, it will give you what you need to keep being creative. I also think, I know now we have to social distance, but I think with these kinds of communication ways, whether it's, FaceTime or whatever it is, the artists should try to connect to each other and build that community.
That is true.
We have a project that we're working on. We can't talk about it too much yet, but we're trying to put something together that actually gave birth right there at your station. And it's all about putting a number of Grenadian artists together on a project. And that's what we're hoping to do, with a lot of help, obviously, from the artists themselves and their teams. But this is the time. I always say some of the best albums came out of adversity for people.
Yeah.
Where they really
Look, perfect example. Look at Maroon 5 with Adam Levine, his very first album.
or look at the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. You know,
Oh yeah.
She felt that the society was not listening to her as a young Black woman. She felt that the love she wanted escaped her. All of those things, and then she sat down and she created a masterpiece.
How do you feel about the Fujis reuniting?
Where's the Haitian flag? Where's the Haitian flag today? Listen, I'm not giving up the nutmeg. I'm not giving up the nutmeg. I am waving the Haitian flag today. I had the pleasure of doing some work with the Fujis, not as the Fujis. That was someone else on my team. His name is Victor. But individually, I've done work with Wyclef and with Miss Hill. And
right.
I am so happy. I'm so happy. I missed it last night because I was literally doing something on behalf of Grenada last night. And I couldn't do the Fujis taping concert. But I am so happy. I am so happy. The score is one of the greatest albums ever. I was in the building. At Sony Music when that album dropped. And I just feel privileged 25 years later to, I don't know the words if I'm just talking to you, but when the song comes on, I know all the words. So I'm very happy.
Amazing. It's just amazing for me that the body of work that the Fujis put out and so many artists from the 90s and so on put out, and even before that, has stood the test of time. And it's being celebrated today.
Yeah, 25 years later. I mean, 1996, you know?
Yo, that is something else, and it's a major accomplishment. And I mean, I'm really glad to see Lauren, Praz, and Wyclef back on the same stage.
And they look so good. They look so good. I mean, these were kids. These were two Haitian kids and a young woman from Newark, New Jersey getting together. We always tell her she's Haitian by association. And everything that has happened, whatever you want to believe, whatever is true, whatever is not, but all of the growth away from and away to and to each other has resulted in something really special. I don't know. I think they've announced some additional dates. I think I saw that on Lauren's IG. It's exciting. I literally just got a text from one of my dear friends who works with CLEP, and he said, how could we look around last night and not see you? And I was like, doing what I did for Grenada last night was definitely more of a priority. But my heart's with the Fujis. My heart right now is with all the Haitian people. You know,
I mean, it's really unfortunate what is happening right now, and the images we're seeing on social media. I mean,
it's horrible. It's horrible, and you know, I'm a huge supporter of the Biden administration, but I will tell you right now, I want to see more. I want to see more. I want to hear more.
People are saying that. A lot of people are saying
we can't give up on Haiti. There's just too much we've learned from Haiti. And even for those of us in the Caribbean, we can't forget our Haitian brothers and sisters. They have been through natural and man-made disasters, and we have to stand up for them.
As a matter of fact, I saw an interview, I can't remember the celebrity, but they were saying if it is the US could bring 76,000 or something so people from Afghanistan with what they went through, why is America deporting 86 Haitians back to Haiti with what they've been through?
Exactly. That was Sunny. Sunny is one of the panelists on The View. And
that's correct.
Yeah, and she's married to a Haitian. This is a very personal thing for her. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Mrs. Yvette Noel-Shure, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning and sharing all your stories, including the one about Drake. I wouldn't forget that. Can't believe that one, boy. Really?
So embarrassed to have even shared that, but it's true. It's true. I really was a starstruck 12-year-old. Shame on me. And now I cannot live without this new Drake album. It's just crazy.
Listen, Drake is in a space right now where he's
untouchable right now. He's untouchable right now. He's just untouchable. The man has like several songs on the charts. Several spaces on the chart. So
yeah, it's something else. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us inside of the ladies' room this morning. Always a pleasure speaking with you. And I know hopefully next time I'll meet you in person.
You will. I am praying. I'm hoping that I can visit home in November. I'm so praying that things are better. And, you know, I'll say this one thing. I do not run away from adversity. So I plan to be home. I plan to be home. I plan
Your
to take
birthday is coming up.
every safety measure. I plan to be home. I may not have a celebration, but I
Right.
will be home with my people. I will be home.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And again, stay safe and continue doing what you're doing. All right.
Thank you. You have a blessed day.
All right. You too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Definitely a pleasure speaking with Mrs. Yvette Noel-Shure inside of the ladies' room this morning. Stay right here. We got a whole lot more coming up inside of Power 95. Yours truly, Scratch Master with you. Don't touch it.